Hi, I'm Matt with Godisforyou.us. Hey, I just wanted to share some thoughts today about how important our attitude is. We know that our beliefs form our thoughts, and our thoughts form our actions form our habits form our character forms our destiny. And I'm reading here in Proverbs, the book of Proverbs, chapter 23, verse 7, and it says, "As a man thinketh in his heart, so is he." What you think about yourself defines who you are. And I just wanted to share a story from Zig Ziglar that Zig Ziglar tells. As best I remember it, he tells a story about being on a sales trip in Birmingham, Alabama, and this gal wanted to talk to him. And he said, "Well, I'll talk to you. I'm not a counselor or anything." But she said, "Well, no, I really need to talk to you. Life's terrible." And he said, "Okay, I'll meet you on the stage behind the curtain before the talk." And so she met him up there, and she said, "Oh, Mr. Ziegler, I'm so glad to see you. I'm glad you can help me." And he's like, "Well, I'll try, but you're the one that has to help yourself." And so he said, "Well, what's the problem?" And she said, "Oh, it's horrible at work. Everybody's awful and they're terrible, and I hate my job and I hate everything. Life sucks and everything's horrible." And he's like, "Wow, that's pretty rough." And she said, "Oh yeah, it's terrible." And he said, "Well," he said, I think maybe I can help you." And she said, "Okay, that'd be great. I really need help. Life's horrible." And he said, "Okay, let's take out a piece of paper and we're going to write down all the things you like about your job." And she said, "Well, that's easy. I don't like nothing about my job. I hate my job. I hate those people. I hate. And he's like, "Okay, you need to get out a piece of paper and we're going to write down the good things about your job." And she didn't do anything. And he said, "Well, this interview is over. If you're not willing to do something for yourself, I can't help you." So grudgingly, she got out a piece of paper and she holds up the paper and she's like, "Yeah." And he said, "Well, what do you like about your job?" And she said, "Nothing. I hate my job. I hate those people." And she just takes off again. He's like, Whoa. Let me ask you something." "Yeah, what's that?" "Do they pay you?" And she says, "Well, yeah, of course." And he said, "Well, write that down." Come to find out, turns out she got paid better than average. She had full benefits, a parking space, all these right things that were a blessing in her life. And so he said, "Write all those things down." So she grudgingly wrote them down. And he said, "Okay, this is what I want you to do for the next 30 days. Every morning and every evening, I want you to go home and stand in front of the mirror and read your list and say, 'I like my job because,' and read one of the things. 'I like my job because they pay me. I like my job because I have benefits, healthcare benefits. I like my job because I have a parking space.' Every day, morning and night," and he said, for 30 days. And he said, "One thing I want you to do is in the morning when you go to work, I want you to take that piece of paper because you're going to find other things about your job that you like, and you put those on that paper. And every day and every morning and every evening for 30 days, I want you to write that down." And she said, "Okay, mutter. So she goes home and she does that for 30 days. Well, 6 weeks later, he was back in Birmingham, and she was sitting in the front row, smiling so big she could have eaten a banana sideways. And he remembered her, of course, and she came up to him after the conference. Mr. Ziegler, you wouldn't believe it." "What's that?" he said. "Everybody at work's changed." And he didn't have the heart to tell her nobody changed but her. And what happens is when we focus on negative things, everything we see is negative. And when we look for positive things, everything we start to see is positive. So you, my dear friend, can change your life simply with a heart of gratitude. It tells us in another place in the Proverbs, "A merry heart doeth good like a medicine, but a broken spirit dries up the bones." And that gratitude makes that merry heart. As we give thanks to the Lord for the things that are right, we're never going to come in this world to a place where there's not something wrong. But don't focus on it. Don't dwell on it. Don't let it poison you. Be thankful for what's right. Return thanks to the Lord. It's interesting, in the New Testament it tells us, "For everything to give thanks, and in everything to give thanks. For this is the will of God in Christ Jesus for you." And it's funny how that makes our situation bearable when we have trials, when we just return thanks for what we can, for what is right. And it's a tremendous testimony. Not only does it change our life, it's a testimony for those around us. So I just pray the Lord's blessing on you. Have a wonderful day. Thanks for watching. God bless.